We have a huge domestic violence problem in the city of Cleveland,
where nearly half of domestic violence victims are at high risk of homicide or severe assault. No one knows that better than the detective you just heard from. A member of the domestic violence high-risk team, the only group in the state doing work like theirs. Our Tara Molina spent the day with the law enforcement members of that team who are giving us a first-hand look at what they're doing to end the cycle of violence.
And with more than 90% of female homicide victims killed by a man they knew, it's a cycle that doesn't end well unless someone steps up and steps in. That's the goal of the high-risk team we're about to introduce you to not only protect domestic violence victims, but save them. These are the first boots on the ground.
1649, 9621, go ahead.
Going into Cleveland homes.
From threats or stalking to being killed.
And following up on that first 911 call.
Being with shovels, surgery, fractured skulls.
Detective Latessa and Sergeant Wimberly, both sworn to protect and serve.
We have over 3,000 cases a year that we handle just in our unit alone.
Both taking that a step further as members of the HRT, or Domestic Violence High Risk Team.
More of the severe ones are coming from the HRT cases that I work.
Case Western, leading the county-wide, federally funded Domestic Violence Initiative and High Risk Team, where a PhD, researchers, domestic advocates, and Cleveland police like Wimberly and Latessa all come together to help victims, to save them, and hopefully start changing those statistics.
And it's never going to stop if our community doesn't get involved, if the churches don't get involved, if the law enforcement is not involved, children's service. I mean, it's a community effort.
For her,
I don't want to leave him. I love him. I'm not asking you to leave him. I'm asking him to stop putting his hands on you.
It's personal. 18 years with CPD, in the DV unit for 5, after watching a family member struggle for years.
So at some point we have to break that cycle. And if it means to charge it, if it means a detective or the Cleveland police, if it means a prosecutor and a judge in your business, then we're getting in.
Officers start by asking victims 11 optional questions. That determines a victim's risk of being killed or seriously hurt by their abuser. Then, a detective like Latessa, a prosecutor, and the Domestic Violence and Child Advocacy Center step in and immediately offer help.
Sometimes it resonates with them when I tell them, you are at the highest risk of being killed. If he just told you he's going to do that, you know, he's going to kill you. You know, we do eye-to-eye contact, and you can see it just hit them, and they either sit back in a chair, or they put their head down, and they begin to cry, because I don't think anybody's ever told them.
So far, they found 45% of domestic violence victims in the 2 Cleveland districts alone are at high risk right now. Of those 45%, 88% survived a strangulation attempt, 88% were threatened with murder. More statistics they are working to change.
They've had comments that said, you know, I've never received these services before.
And the ones seeing it day in and day out.
But people don't want to get involved. You have to get involved.
Told me this is exactly the kind of effort it's going to take to do it.
But there has to be something where the accountability is there. How does this end? And there's times when I never once spoke to the victim, never once met her, signed anything, and we will move forward with or without her.
Now, there are 11 other sites across the country working on this study, and with this high-risk team, all of the data will be collected and used nationally. But here in Cleveland, they're hoping to expand this to every district. Reporting in Cleveland, I'm Tara Molina, News 5.